Modelflight, and we're here today to look at what's involved in converting a nitro-powered plane to electric. And we've got a typical 45 size sport model here. We've got the Seagull 40, which is a low-wing sort of second type aeroplane, and it comes with a radial engine mount to take an OS 46 or that sort of engine. But what we're going to do is run through the very simple process to fit an electric motor into this airframe. A very good starting point to do the electric conversion is to pick a suitable dual sky tuning combo. This is the 50 size combo, which includes this awesome brushless motor and an 80 amp speed control, and that is a suitable power plant for this 45 size sport model. What's involved now is how do we fit the motor to the front of the airframe. The Seagull 40 comes with the radial mount, as we showed before. First part of the process would be to remove that, so it's just the 4 bolts here that will come off. We're going to set the dual sky motor up with the rear mount option. It can be configured either way, but we've put the cross mount on the back, prop driver on the front. Dual Sky make a series of motor extension pieces, so you need to measure how far forward we need to move the motor and buy suitable standoffs, which Dual Sky do in 10mm increments. So these are actually a fraction long for the job at hand, but it's indicative of what we'll do. These can be very simply mounted on the 4 bolt holes that exist from the radial mount. They'll be bolted on here. You'll have 4 of those, and they simply pick up on the back of the cross mount that's on the back of the Dual Sky motor. So we end up with the motor strategically placed here, picked up on the cross mount at the back, and it'll be a suitable distance forward so the propeller clears the front of the fuselage. And it is really that simple. The wires that are going to run back to the included 80 amp speed control can go through the hole here that was there for the fuel lines, and the speed control will be mounted internally, and we'll flick the fuselage over and have a look at speedy and battery mounting. So we've got the motor mounted on the front now with the 3 wires coming through with bullet connectors on it. We need to attach them to the sockets on the speed control. We do that, and the speed control typically it can be very simply attached just with Velcro. Bit of Velcro on the back of the speed control, bit of Velcro to the side of the fuselage, which could be here or it could be inside the fuel compartment. We've got a lot of space in here because there is no fuel tank. We need to get the speed control mounted, and we need to mount a suitable battery. This 50 size combo uses a 6S battery, and a very popular one is the Dual Sky 6S 3600. So it's got a little bit of weight to it. It will need to be securely mounted. So how are we going to do that? It's very simple. We need to keep 2 things in mind. It has to be mounted so that it won't move around during flight or in a hard landing, and it needs to be positioned so that the model has the centre of gravity in the right place, which typically will be around here. The battery is a little bit heavier than the fuel tank, so we're not going to want it fully forward. It will typically mount somewhere around here, and it fits very easily with room on the side for the speed control. A very simple way to mount that battery is to make a plywood plate out of a bit of scrap 3mm plywood that will sit on here and screw onto the servo tray. We've got servos back here for rudder and elevator. The receiver needs to go somewhere. Typically have no receiver battery because the speed control powers the receiver. So a plywood plate that screws onto here and moves through into here, and the battery can be held to that plywood plate, again with Velcro and some battery straps. Dual Sky makes some very nice battery straps that are very reasonably priced. 2 of those will hold the battery to that tray very simply, and if you want to have more than 1 battery pack, it's very simple to change the pack and fly before you've recharged that first pack. If we had an airframe that had a hatch on the top of the fuselage, then this whole process is even simpler because you would have access to the battery through the hatch at the front. But it is very simple even with a model like this. One of your other alternatives with batteries, if you don't want to buy a 6S battery or your charger can't do 6S, is to use 2 3S batteries and run them in series, which will give you 6S 3200 in this case. These are very, very popular pack, the 3200 ES, at a very reasonable price. And running 2 of these in series gives you 6S at a slightly lower price point, and perhaps you can use these in other models that you might have. So that's it, guys. It's a really simple exercise, can be done very easily in a couple of hours with not much fabrication on your part. It's a good way to go. There's a lot of power out of that 50 size dual sky motor. It goes every time, you don't have to carry fuel, it's clean and it's quiet. So electric conversion, really simple. Why don't you give it a go?